Thank you very much. And folks, thank you for turning up. What's almost the graveyard shift at 4:05. As I was introduced, I'm the project coordinator of the ARISE project. It's an EU-funded project with an international partners, one of which is sitting here in front of me, the president of the Italian branch building, Smart Anna Marina. And we have a couple of others outside. We work with TU Dublin under Barry McCauley and Ryan. And we work with these partners, and it's about delivering the digital skills. The whole BIM Coordinators Summit is about BIM and what BIM can do for construction. But in any supply chain, you've got to address all of the supply chain, and the weak link there is the delivery of that information, the delivery of the skills. And the title is Digital the New Normal. Everything in industry, be it construction, manufacturing, education, whatever, digital is now the backbone. The way of communicating to all the different parts of the construction supply chain in a language that everybody understands. We're all embarking on the digitalization journey, and we need to make sure that journey reaches all parts of the supply chain. As we walk around this afternoon in the BIM Coordinators Summit, we're looking at what we would call a lot of white-collar workers. But how do we get the digitalization down through the supply chain to the blue-collar workers? And that's the challenge. Because any instructions coming from home base or coming from head office out into the field have to be understood. But importantly, any efficiencies then have to be pushed back. So as we started on our journey with BIM Cert and now ARISE, it's about how we get energy efficiencies into construction to make sure that construction meets the global challenge. It's one of the largest contributors of CO2. All the different parts of that construction supply chain, the consumption of energy in buildings is almost 18%. Through digitalization and the tools that digitalization brings, such as BIM and other information, allow us to control the energy content of every stage of construction: planning, design, build, operate, manage, and reconstruction. How we integrate that through all of that is what ARISE does. It's what ARISE meeting those construction challenges. And it's only one part of a challenge construction faces. If you look at the shortage of skills, because construction is now seen as not sexy. Nobody wants to get their feet wet. Nobody wants to go out in dirty boots. So how do we address all of the construction challenges in being attractive, innovative, meet the green challenge in innovation, overcome the disconnection in the different parts of the chain, and overcome that dissonance, and help construction become more innovative. Second only to agriculture in being the least innovative sector in industry. So how do we work that to make sure that companies overcome that challenge? And part of it is how we deliver the skills. School leavers want to be in charge of their own learning. We're developing a program that's non-linear. You'll see our stand outside where we're talking about addressing those skill shortages by making sure we deliver just-in-time skills, task-based skills, but also impact-based. So we're able to measure the outcome and the reliance. In ARISE, predominantly driven, it's about looking at the energy content in construction, where we can digitalize every part of that chain to address all of the energy savings that can be harnessed and gather them together so the builder, the operator, the manager of the construction site then is able to demonstrate the energy savings. Our partner in North Macedonia, IECE, are looking at designing that algorithm, how we measure skills and resultant energy savings, and being able to measure that not in qualitative terms but in quantitative terms. The platform for the delivery of skills has been developed by IST in Portugal. Antonio has just joined us here at the back of the room. So it's about making sure we deliver all across. It's delivered in micro modules. We had our team meeting yesterday, our quarterly partner meeting, and deliver the training in 15-minute units. So those 15-minute units can be batched together in any way you want for your training platform, for your training journey. You then can translate those 15 minutes into cert coins, which we then can convert then to either accreditation or CPD points, because it's a dual platform we're developing to allow for either those that want certification can have a certificate, those that want CPD can go down that route, but it's the same training journey. And it's those interface of micro modules, the segmented accreditation, the digitalized individual learning accounts bring the training to the learner. We're removing it from the traditional bricks and mortar, where you must go to a classroom, you must go to university, you must take time off work, you must take time out of your family life. How do we arrive what is needed now in 2022 plus, where you have work-life training balance, where one doesn't become overloaded because of the other, and how we, as I said, create that dual pathway of certification and or recognition. The platform we're designing, the modules we're designing, overcome that disconnection. Despite all of the different advances we're made, there is a disconnection between training and impact. How we measure that, not just for the blue-collar workers, but for all of construction. And we help the industry evolve to become more innovative. With our partners, as I said, in North Macedonia and in Italy and in Ireland and in the UK, we also then are looking at how we overcome that digital dissonance. The leaders in this end of it are KEA in Copenhagen under Dr. James Hardy. You might have heard him speak this morning at the digital workshop. And make sure that people aren't afraid of digital. Digital is just, everybody has it. Everybody has access to it on their mobile phones. How do we use that to overcome that dissonance? But importantly, that last line, deliver digital literacy. So those that are receiving the training become more literate, and that gets fed back up the chain into the opportunity. Digitalization is unavoidable. It's in every sector, but it's important in the construction sector to measure the skills we've delivered, the impact, the energy savings, the cost savings, the time savings, and effectively then the savings in money as well. Through Arise, we have joined with over 100 partners in 24 countries in the different Arise program to look at how we deliver this, to make sure that we are able to close that gap between as designed and as built. You'll all know that everything looks lovely on paper, but it's not what it ends up out in the site. And the biggest gaps are in the energy performance. And never was it more important in today's climate change and with the Russian debacle going on that we must address our energy use. That energy use is critical as we move forward, and none more critical in the maintained performance of buildings. Can't happen without the right skills in the right place, in the right hands of the right people. Not just the office workers or the designers or the architects, but also the installers, the technicians, the engineers. They all have to be able to talk that same language, that common language of construction, which is now digitalization. As I said, we're revolutionizing the skills process. We're inspiring the demand by putting the skills into a platform and a format that the learner becomes inspired. They're not doing it because they have to, they're doing it because they want to. Through our gamification process designed by IST, it engages the learner. The learner then becomes more and more engaged in continuous training, continuous learning. They then build up their accrued points, convert the points to the cryptocurrency cert coin, and then buy the certificates or the CPD points they want through the blockchain system operated by IST. And that's the revolutionary process. It's not traditional learning or this, it's us working together. And that's why some of our key partners are TU Dublin here in Dublin and Belfast Metropolitan College. It's how we merge the two processes, traditional class-based and beyond blended, to make sure we reach out and we do the training with the workers in the field and make sure that we get the benefits we require. It's how we're changing the face of learning from instructor-based classroom to digital-based and mirroring those. We're talking earlier on to Antonio, how we build the digital image of traditional learning, but bring it to the people and let the people access it in a time and a format. In a previous pilot we ran, you're going through one of the learning processes and there's a small assignment at the end. The assignments must be planned and operated in a way that's commensurate with life. The assignment, one of the boys taking the assignment in the company who hired McGovern and Uri, was timed out of the assignment because newborn child in the house had to go and look after the newborn child, so therefore he couldn't complete the assignment. But because we have a route back, he's able to come back in, log back in and complete the assignment. Skilling up, retraining and upskilling is not at the behest of everybody. It must integrate with work-life balance, as we've said, and we must go beyond just the traditional learning routes to make sure that innovation is there. The innovation is in every stage of the Arise project, in every stage of the platform. It's skills delivery based. It's a matrix of skills maturity. It's that transaction and recognition. It's professional based to the accreditation and CPD. The main impact is in the building's performance, that energy savings we talked about, driving new regulatory models and skills demand, and stimulating the investments. Under the leadership of Anna Morena, we're now working with the EC to get them to adopt this approach, where we become their advisor to say, right, how do the new skills platform for Europe looks like, to go beyond what we're currently doing. It's how we integrate digital skills in construction, and a very simple diagram. Forget all the different technical stuffs. How many times have you seen design have a right corner, design of delivery, and in reality, somebody takes a shortcut across, and that happens. So how do you allow for that? Is measure the distance. It's not a physical distance, it's the learning distance. And let the learner take their own pathway, the pathway that suits them, the modules that suit them. Just because they want to do a training course, why must they take Paul's 26 modules that you've laid out in a 3-year project? 22 of the modules they never use. So let them choose the task-based modules they need for the job they're doing and measure the impact by a dynamic training and uptake model. About task-based, impact-based, and let the user experience actually reply what you need to do. BIM and digitalization, I'm speaking to you, the experts. It pervades every part of one of the digital toolboxes of construction. The disjoint is, how do we get it from the head office down onto the work site, to the man on doing the form work or the construction work or the electrician or the engineer, and make sure there's no disjoint. And it's that common data environment that we need to exploit to use that and that digital pathway. We've come across all of those different challenges. We're looking at the attractiveness, innovation, energy challenges, the disconnection, and the dissonance. But our challenges, not just me, everybody in the room, how can construction education be influenced to contribute to our climate challenge? What does it take to bring everyone on board to the same platform? And what have we learned from the past that we don't make the same mistakes so the students, professionals, and engineers thrive? Those are the 3 key questions that keep coming up all the time. They're the 3 takeaways from you for today, for this presentation. How can you work with us, come back and talk to us? I was talking to Bernardo earlier on. We have a suite of training materials that we have to deliver as part of our project. We're looking to engage with companies to deliver those materials for you to take advantage of them and come back and tell us about them. Till we road test them, till we alpha test them and beta test them, till we get them to the level that we need, that we then could take them to the market. And that's the challenge for us all, how we work together. Digital is the new normal. Digital is central to everything we do, be it your home life, professional life, and work life. How we now blend that so that everybody goes in the same adoption curve and we contribute the same journey. Folks, thank you very much for your time. It's been a very quick run through. As I said, all of our partners, I've mentioned most there by name. It's a European project for European need, and BIM is a global opportunity, and that's what we need to go to. Thank you very much indeed.